Hello, beautiful, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Katrina Johnson Show, a safe space for women healing from childhood trauma. Today, I'm going to share with you the biggest lie about women who experience childhood trauma. The biggest lie is that they will never heal. I am a case in point. My experience of a childhood trauma, of course, stunned me. I won't lie. However, I believe that God gave me a resiliency, and it was the resilience to get through the trauma that impacted my healing. I also wanted to and always had the desire to live past the trauma. Eventually, as I got older, I began to understand that perspective and perception plays a very key role in how we handle trauma. We all don't handle it the same. Now, when I was a child, my perception was that of confusion. I had a sense of knowing that something was wrong, that things weren't right. Now, as I grew into a young adult, a young woman, my perspective on the trauma that I experienced changed. My perspective at that time was that I began to learn hurt people. And that's not just a saying, it's true. Hurt people. And the people that hurt people, do it because they've not been healed. Another thing that really got me through and was another part of my perception as a young woman was that I began to express the hurt that I had been carrying, and the load became lighter as I did that. And then finally, and this one I think is the most important, and that is that I began to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness, that is what tipped the scales. And I know everyone has a different viewpoint. Everyone's perspective and perception may be different. And we all have to deal with those different ways of thinking as we see fit in our lives. But to say that women cannot heal is not true. And let me explain why I believe that. There are many resources out there. Cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, is one. And I happen to be a CBT life coach. And I know that there are difficult situations that CBT, the techniques, can help address these specific challenges. Aside from that, there are many other resources. And I think one of the most important things to consider is the fact that if a person wants to get better, if a person wants to heal, it starts with them. Healing begins with the person wanting to be healed. So that is the reason why it is not impossible for women to heal. If you want to heal, you'll get your healing. If you're open to healing, healing is possible. I thank you for listening to another episode. Leave a comment, hit the like button, share the podcast with someone that needs it. And remember, stay inspired.